In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Welcome to... That was my back. Did you hear that? Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser and this is my husband Joe.
Hello.
And I feel that before we start, I've got tears running down my face because we've just spent probably the better part of 3 entire minutes rearranging various glasses and milk bottles on the table in order to try and get a glockenspiel-esque ding, 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 so we can do a dingle update. And what we actually ended up with was... So I don't think it was really worth all of the effort.
It was not worth the effort.
It was not worth the effort. So instead, Joe, would you like to tell us what we're drinking this evening?
We're drinking the very last of the rhubarb gin.
Cheers.
Because I like it. With Schweppes tonic. So it's fairly straight up tonic, but fancy gin.
With ice.
With ice.
I can hear it jingling. I'm going to throw gin everywhere. So yeah, we just wasted 3 minutes of our lives rearranging milk bottles. We need an actual glockenspiel.
Is it a glockenspiel or are they the wooden ones?
Glockenspiels are wooden ones, I think.
What are the...
Xylophones. Xylophone.
Isn't that one of those things?
No, that's a... Shit. Joe was just moving his hands in and out. Oh God, we did this last week. By the way, the word that we were looking for last week was bandana.
Bandana.
Thank you, Natasha.
Hi, Natasha.
The word we're looking for this week, if anyone wants to help us out with it, those musical instruments where you squeeze them. They make an unholy racket.
If you were my Auntie Angela, hi Angela, that would be a piano accordion.
Accordion?
Accordion.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
We're sorted. Anyway.
Right. What the hell? What's happening here?
So, we are... I don't know if we've really got a dingle update, because I've mostly been away, and so have you.
Yeah, we've done some stuff, though.
What have we done?
Well, you won a competition.
I won my trapeze competition. So, in all of the past few months where I've been talking about competitions and bruises and face planting, I won!
Yay!
Was I okay?
You were the best one there.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Joe. So yeah, I won my competition. There is a concrete slab down in the garden ready for my office to be built on it, which is extremely exciting, and I'm trying not to look at it too much because I'm actually going to explode. All the funding's in place and ready. It's very, very exciting. Can I just move this makeshift glockenspiel? Yeah.
Glockenspiel?
Xylophone. I love crap. And yeah, so I need to apologise to anyone who listened to last week's podcast, or the last podcast that we did, and then went to the webpage that we mumbled our way through and found an error page. Because, yeah, I just simply didn't have time to do it. I went to Poland and it's just been a whole thing. However, this week I can give you the actual URL, moxiebooks.co.uk/pre-order the book.
Cool. Pre-order the book, all one word.
Pre-order the book is all one word, yeah. So that's very exciting.
Nice.
That link will also be in the show notes. And
so is this a link that you're going to make work before the podcast is released, or is this a link that does actually work right now?
It does actually work right now. And also, when you've bought the book, look at what page you go to, Joe.
What? That is a terrible picture of me.
It's an amazing picture of you. So, you know what, guys? Just one very good reason for pre-ordering my book is that you get to see the most amazing photograph of Joe. Because
what's going on there? You look great and I look awful.
I don't look great. I'm all teeth. I look like a horse. Anyway, so that's, all sorts of my insecurities coming out there. I hate my teeth, which is why I'm spending a small fortune on fixing them. Yeah. So today's been a difficult day. Anyway, right. Let's move on to what we're talking about this week.
What the hell are we talking about?
We are talking about what we promised we would talk about last week, which is a novel thing for us to do.
Wow.
Really?
I know. We're following on from last week's next week?
Yes, we are.
Jeepers.
I know. We are talking about the 10 Commandments of Moxiedom. The 10 Commandments of writing a book.
Okay.
You will find these in the very beginning of my new book, which you can pre-order from moxiebooks.co.uk/pre-order the book. I'm channeling RuPaul right now. And yeah, so this is going to be a fairly short podcast because...
Well, I mean...
There are only 10 commandments.
10 commandments.
I don't know, I might ramble a bit.
We could normally spin 10 points out to be like a series of 5 podcasts or something, couldn't we?
Well, maybe we will in the future, Joe. Maybe we will. Because that's something that we can talk about a little bit now. Business for Superheroes show is going to be changing very soon, I know. It might look like I'm stabbing it to death, but it's probably looked quite a lot like I've stabbed it to death over the last few months. But it is changing. I'm not killing it. I am changing it into... It's basically going to be the same format. It's going to be Joe and I rambling
Talking
at you.
Nonsense.
But it's going to be very much more focused on writing books and then using the book to market your business. So it's not going to be wildly different. The topics aren't going to be wildly different, but it is going to be a lot more organised. Oh, how very dare you?
Yeah.
I'm going to plan it out in seasons and...
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
little series, yeah.
We're not just going to hit record and start talking?
I mean, there'll be some of that as well. And I'll be interviewing more people, and yeah. So it's going to be unveiled and rebranded and all the rest of it. So please keep listening.
So our one subscriber is going to have to...
I've got many subscribers.
Subscribe to something different.
I don't... Well, yes, because this will be up as it is, and I am going to be... pointing people at the new podcast, which is going to be very similar to the old podcast, but just rebranded. Because that is how I roll.
Okay, cool.
Also, I have a TV show recommendation because you've just reminded me. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine is hilarious, but I think made by the same people or produced by the same people is a TV show called The Good Place, which was recommended to me by Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
And I watched a couple of episodes. We were like, not sure about this. And then Ed, hi Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Was like, you need to watch it. So while Joe was away in Thailand, I watched the entire first season. And then since you've come home, we've been watching it. It's freaking hilarious, isn't it?
It's very good. Very good.
It's very good. So watch The Good Place and The Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So Vicky's 10 Commandments of writing a book. I got very squeaky then.
You did?
It's exciting. I really hope that this computer doesn't die, by the way, because there was an actual explosion earlier before Joe got home.
Yeah. An
actual explosion, and then everything went dark, and I was like, oh crap. It's the end of days, zombies, blah blah blah. It's the power cuts are back again. And so I did go up and I restarted the fuse box and all the rest of it, and then I waited until Joe came home, and we discovered that the charging block, is it the charging?
Yeah.
Block,
charging
the
brick
Apple
thing.
charging brick
Adapter,
thing.
power adapter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, had blown a fuse. I didn't know fuses banged like that.
Yeah, fuses will bang.
It was a big bang. I noticed that my laptop wasn't charging, and now the fuser was blowing it because we tested the plug, we tested the socket, we tested all sorts of things in a scientific manner, and it's not my laptop, thankfully. It is my charging block.
But we've basically got only a few percent to get this podcast
48%, and this is quite an elderly MacBook, this is, so the battery does run down.
So if this podcast just mysteriously finishes at like 0.5 or halfway through a sentence, it's probably because we ran out of juice on this laptop.
Yeah, there may be zombies. You may be witnessing the beginning of the zombie apocalypse.
Might be the start.
So, right, anyway.
Right. Jeez.
Vicky's 10 Commandments of writing a book.
Writing a book.
Commandment number 1. I was trying to sound...
Mosaic.
Mosaic.
What?
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 Is that...
Like Moses?
I'm not sure it's mosaic, is it?
How would you like to say it?
Mosian? I don't know. I think
I've broken you.
Yeah. My brain's gone on biblical safari. It's not coming back. I need some gin. Joe, what's the first commandment?
Right. The first commandment, if you write, then you are a writer. You can do this.
Yeah, because one of the most common objections or worries or whatever...
Barriers that people put up
is, well, I'm not a writer. And if you write anything regularly, then, you are a writer. And I know that sounds like a facetious thing to say, because it's like, oh, well, even if I'm just scribbling... a reply to an email, it's like, okay, maybe not. But if you are creating any kind of content and you're writing it down, you are a writer. And that doesn't mean that you're claiming to be Stephen King or J.K. Rowling or anything like that. But
Dan Brown.
But
Not sure he's a writer.
You see, no, I have a problem with this because Dan Brown is an absolutely master storyteller.
Yes.
Because his books, I couldn't put them down. The writing wasn't great. It's not the best writer in the world, but he's a master storyteller and he's probably stinking rich. So, you know, you don't have to be a perfect writer. You have to be a compelling storyteller, and that's super important. Okay. There's a lot of people out there, so that's consider yourself told off.
All right, I'm chastised, suitably chastened.
So yeah, first commandment: if you write, you are a writer, and you can do this. And you know, the number of people who said, "I can't write a book because I'm not a writer." You can write a book. If the writing itself, if the act of kind of, you know, typing puts you off, then you can dictate. There are many ways to write a book. Many ways to write a book. So that's the first one. You can do this. If you're thinking, oh, I'd really like to write a book, but I can't. I don't think I've got a book in me. You have. I promise you. All you need is the lady balls or boy balls to do it. Anyway, numero 2.
Numero 2. Do not edit as you write. You should write freely and write fast.
Yes. So, one of the biggest obstacles that stops people from making progress in their writing is as they write, they'll be like, oh, I've got a spelling mistake there, or there's a typo there. Oh, that sentence that I've just written doesn't read very well. Don't do that. Stop it. Stop. There is time later to edit. Editing is super important. If you try and do it while you're writing your first draft, you will never finish your first draft.
Right.
Never ever.
Put the words on the paper.
Yeah, just vomit the words onto the paper in whatever order they come out in. Because the other thing is, if you are editing as you write, you will lose ideas. It's like, you know, when you think, oh, I've had this really great idea, I'll remember it tomorrow, and you never do. You never do, which is why I keep a notepad and pen by my bed, so that if I wake up with like the best idea in the world, I can write it down. Quite often I'll look at it in the morning and be like, wow, that was what? But yeah, don't edit while you write because it destroys your flow. You will lose your ideas, and you will hate the process and hate yourself, and it will sap your confidence.
Bach.
Johann
Sebastian kept a notepad and pen by his bed so that he could write down any marvellous ideas he had in the middle of the night. The interesting bit to this story is that he slept in his spectacles because he was frightened he would wake up with a bright idea, a pen and a paper, but not be able to write it down because he couldn't see. So he slept in his glasses.
That's such a good idea, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was in Poland the other day, I had to get up at 4:00 in the morning for a horrifically early flight. And I'd asked them for a wake-up call as well as my phone, just to be on the safe side, as well as my Fitbit, just, you know, because I didn't want to miss my plane. That would be bad. And so they sent me a wake-up call at 4:00 in the morning. And you know what it's like when you wake up in a strange place? And I couldn't find the light, and I was like, shit, and there were like multiple alarms going off, and I was spinning, and I was like, where is the phone? And I couldn't see the phone because I didn't have my glasses on, and when I used to turn a light on, still couldn't see a phone because I literally am blind as a bat without my glasses. And I just had these eyes, like I turned my phone off, and then I was like,
but the hotel phone
was ringing. I was like, where is it coming from? And I was freaking out so much, and then it stopped. I was like, thank fuck for that. And I picked up my glasses and put them on, and then it started again, and I was like, seriously, where's it coming from? And it was coming from the phone in the bathroom. And so I had been spinning around my hotel room in a blind panic, being like, I have literally no idea what's going on, and I think the world might be ending. And it was a phone. I didn't even know there was a phone in the bathroom. And all I could think was, if Joe was here, he would be absolutely wetting himself right now. Anyway, so yeah, wear your glasses in bed is the moral of the story.
Wear your glasses in bed.
Okay, so yeah, don't edit as you write.
How did we get there?
Commandment numero C.
Create a detailed outline before you start writing.
Yes. Because otherwise it's the equivalent of saying, let's go on holiday, and then just setting off without knowing where you're going, why you're going there, or how you're going to get there. And it's a tired old cliche because everyone's like, oh, have a blueprint, have a roadmap. But it's good advice. You need some kind of an outline. And also, it's warm-up time. So it's like, I would never, ever get on the trapeze and perform a routine without doing a load of warm-up first. Never, because that way lies injury and woe. And it's the same with trying to write a book. If you dive in and try and just start writing a book without any kind of warm-up or roadmap, your head will explode.
And, I mean, the roadmap as well, you can kind of... It's quite easy to generate, well, here are the things I want to talk about, here are the topics I want to do. Then you can shuffle them around and put them in a sensible order, and you can think, well, okay, how do I expand on this? And you can do all that outlining. And it's a really good way of getting you past a blank piece of paper.
Yes.
If you just kind of go, right, I'm going to start writing my book, chapter 1.
Rah!
A long time ago, I was born. And you're just going to be like, what the hell am I doing here? And you've got no idea what's happening, and it's a mess.
Yeah, and you won't even get to a long time ago I was born, because you'll be like, well, that's total shit. Then you won't write anything.
And then you're into editing as you write, so you'll cross that out and start again, and then
before you know it,
you're surrounded by crumpled up bits of paper, and it's just bollocks.
You'll put it in a drawer and you'll never look at it again. You'll declare war on the whole thing. So yeah, create a detailed outline before you start writing. It's so important for so many reasons.
And there's processes in that, and they get you past the blank page, and it sorts out all your thoughts, and it's dead easy.
Yeah, I have a detailed process for how you can do that in my book, which you can buy soon. Right, anyway, commandment number...
I.
I.
No, it's IV, isn't it?
IV. Yeah.
IV. Commandment IV. Protect your writing time and space fiercely.
Yes. Treat your writing as if it was a client. So if you say, I'm going to fit my writing in as and when, you will never fit your writing in.
Yeah.
If you say, I'm kind of going to block out this amount of time here, and then you allow other people's circuses, other people's monkeys to invade your circus, then again, you are not going to write your book. You need to do what I do, which is I have time blocked out, like today in my bullet journal, I've got time blocked out for the dentist because I had to go to my dentist. And then I had time blocked out to work on my client's book. Then I have lunch blocked out. And then I had time blocked out in the afternoon to work on my business. And nothing has got in the way of that because it's booked in.
And it's the priority, isn't it?
It's the priority. You've got to look after yourself before you can look after anybody else. It's, again, a cliche, put your own oxygen mask on first, but it's a cliche for a reason.
Or as the great RuPaul once said, if you can't love yourself,
how the hell are you going to love anyone else?
How are you going to love anyone else?
Yeah.
Look after your own business. You
have to look after your own business so that you can take care of your clients and customers. So yeah, protect your writing time and space. Set aside time for it. Ring fence it. Protect it. Do not let anybody in. So if you've got kids and a husband or a wife or a partner or whatever, you say, unless the house is on fire, you do not come into this office between the hours of here and here. And it's like, you can't spend more than an hour working, solidly anyway. So you can come out and you can grab yourself a drink or pop to the loo and make sure that nobody's on fire. And that's fine. And, if you think, but what if my clients need to get hold of me? There is nothing so urgent that it can't wait for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And if there is, unless you're a doctor on call or something, but I'm assuming you are not, You've got to protect your writing time and space. Otherwise, you will not do what you need to do.
If you drop all of your priority things every time a client phones you, then you've already gone wrong. You've trained yourself and your clients into bad behaviour.
Yeah. Because more often than not, a client who wants to get hold of you immediately, if they can't, they'll solve the problem on their own. So there you go. Okay, right. Commandment number 5.
Embrace the shitty first draft.
Yes. This is related to commandment number 2, which is don't edit if you write. You need to get comfortable with the fact that your first draft is going to be a little bit shit. And it has to be, because your shitty first draft is the preparation for what's going to become your magnificent book. And without it, you are not going to have a magnificent book. It is... I first heard that term when I read Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. And she talks about...
Hi, Anne.
I would love it if she was listening. And she talks about the shitty first draft. It's important. You have to be able to allow yourself to write absolute crap. And another writer put it absolutely beautifully. Let me see if I can find the quote. It's a woman called Shannon Hale. I'm writing a first draft and reminding myself that I'm simply shoveling sand into a box so that later I can build castles. And I love that. I absolutely love that because it perfectly embodies what you're doing with your shitty first draft. You are just shoveling your ideas and your words onto the paper so that later you can edit them and shape them into something that's beautiful. It's really, really important. In fact, if you can't get is the one thing that I really encourage my students to get their heads around more than anything else is embrace the shitty first draft, because you have to let go of your perfectionism in everything you do, because otherwise you will never do anything.
Nice.
And it's really difficult.
It's really difficult.
Really difficult. So, right, we need to shuffle on because that's nearly 20 minutes.
We're 20 minutes in.
It's going to be a short podcast.
Foolish.
Commandment number 6.
6. Do not sit and wait for inspiration to strike. Go out and grab it.
Yeah, this is kind of related to motivation. People think that they need motivation in order to take action, but actually it's the other way around.
There's going to be some Damascene moment where the big idea hits you in the face.
Doesn't happen. It's like, I haven't got any motivation. If you want to be motivated, you need to take action. Motivation comes from action, even if it's only small. Mm-hmm. So you need to take that first step. It's the same with inspiration. Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. That's totally stolen from Stephen King. Mm-hmm. But he's right. It's like inspiration strikes when you go out and create circumstances in which it can do.
Yeah, you stir the big pot of soupy ideas, and then you'll go, that's what we should talk about. You have to do the work.
Yeah, you read stuff, you watch films, you talk to people, you go out and look at the world. Maybe it's how you see a sunbeam on a wet leaf. Maybe that will spark an idea. That kind of thing. That's what I saw this morning. It was lovely. And then I saw the big pile of McDonald's crap that people had left in the road and picked it all up. Yeah, rage. Anyway, so yeah, don't sit and wait for inspiration to strike. Go out and make it happen.
Go and do the work.
Do the work. Commandment number 7.
Understand whom you're writing for. Understand whom you're writing for, and crawl inside their head.
Yeah, super important. This will make writing your book a lot easier. It's another technique for beating the blank page of doom, is really understanding who you're writing for and what problem you're solving for them, or what you're giving them, what you want them to take away from it. And you really need to understand what they're thinking, what they're afraid of, what motivates them, what they love, what they hate, what they want to get out of reading your book, and that will help you write your book.
And again, that's a process. There's a way, there are multiple methods of doing that, one of which is available in the book.
Mine's best. Which you can get in the book, which will be available to pre-order. Commandment number 8.
Give yourself permission to be wholly and unapologetically yourself.
Oh my god, and I can tell you a story now.
I'm going to tell you a story.
I'm going to tell you a story. I went to a thing a long time ago. And when I was at the thing, it was full of kind of, uber A-list celebrities in the world of, business. And I was like, I want to be part of this world. I want to be one of these people. I want to be part of this world. Mm-hmm. And I discovered that world is grubby and filthy, unfriendly to women, and I want no part of it. And that was really interesting, because that means that I no longer have to worry about fitting in to that world. Mm-hmm. I no longer have to worry about being, playing the bro game and, being one with the boys, because I have no interest in that kind of nonsense. And I didn't realise it until I got there and kind of saw a little bit behind the scenes of what it was like. And it's very freeing, actually, because it's like, well, you know what? I can just go and do my own thing. And this is super important. I talk about it a lot. It's the whole, flamingo your business idea. Mm-hmm. Be yourself. It's a lot easier said than done, especially when you think you want to be part of something else. And so I say, go start your own thing. If you want to write a book and you want a business that people are going to look up to, and you want a business that can change lives, and you can lead people, you need to start your own movement. You need to be yourself, and you need to be confident enough to just not apologise for who you are, and not allow other people to stomp all over your dreams.
If you're a bit strange, don't be a bit strange. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, have a think about where you want to be, and who you want to be, and who you want to serve, and how you want to do it, and then go do it. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what the establishment's doing. Don't worry about the games that are played elsewhere. And the politics that happen, because every business has its politics, every industry has its politics, and it's established boys clubs. Don't worry about it. Go do your own thing. Create your own group. Create your own following. Create your own movement, and then go move people.
I think importantly in that is becoming comfortable with the idea that some people are not going to like what you're doing. Some people are not going to like you. Some people are going to have opinions. And
that's okay.
If that's fine. If those people are not important to you, then who cares?
Yeah, that's absolutely cool. Okay, commandment number 9.
Pay attention to the details. You are not an amateur, so don't act like one.
Yeah, super important. And this is something that I see a lot of business owners independently published books are let down by, is the lack of attention to detail. You know, sometimes you make mistakes. Mistakes are made. I have made mistakes with my own books, with client books before. I've always gone and fixed them. But I'm not talking about making mistakes. I'm talking about paying attention to the small details. Look at how traditionally published books are published. Look at the way they look and the way they feel, and then aim to have your independently published book look and feel the same. It's really important. Just because you are self-published doesn't mean that you need to look amateurish.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be on cheapy, horrible paper, and it doesn't have to have a terrible typeface, and it doesn't have to have a cheap cover, and it doesn't have to feel like crap.
Yeah. And just bear in mind as well that people will judge you on that. If your book looks and feels cheap and amateurish, people will assume that you are cheap and amateurish in your business. And, you know, they've got nothing else to judge you on. The whole point of writing the book for your business is that it's going to be, you know, a showpiece for you.
Yeah.
It's going to open doors. It's going to introduce people to who you are. And, you know, would you cut corners in what you do in your business? Of course you wouldn't. So don't cut corners when you write your book either, because people will make assumptions.
Yeah, there was one that we picked up at an airport a few weeks ago.
Oh God, it was terrible.
Well, there's a whole podcast in this, but it was awful. It was like it was printed too close to the spine, so you had to like really wrench the spine around to be able to read into the corners. The font was horrible, the paper was horrible, the cover was horrible.
It was badly edited.
It was badly edited. It was pompous. It was nonsense. It was, you know, the page numbers didn't work. That all kinds of like just little technical things that had that person got a bit of sensible advice.
Do you know what?
It would have come out well.
It was traditionally published as well. That's what shocked me. So traditional publishing is not immune from this stuff.
It was garbage.
Oh, it
just felt like a crap book, didn't it?
Yeah, it's not often that I put a book down halfway through and stop reading it, but I did. I think, did I leave it in the airport? Did I bring it home as an example to all bad books everywhere? Anyway, so yes, pay attention to the details. Final commandment, Joe.
Take criticism with grace and gratitude and use it to become better.
Yes. And when I say take criticism with grace and gratitude, I don't mean that you have to stand there and take crap from people who are being mean to you, because you absolutely don't. What I am talking about is ask for feedback, constructive feedback, and then receive it in the spirit in which it's given, which is usually that people want to help you. And listen, you know, do they have a point? If they do, how can you use it to become better? My book is far better for the amazing constructive criticism that I've had from my beta readers.
Hello, beautiful beta readers.
Hello, beautiful beta readers. So I'm extremely grateful for that. And, you know, the book that you can pre-order soon. You can pre-order it now, actually. The book that you can pre-order, as of now, is a better book for the criticism. So take it in the spirit that it's intended and not as a personal attack. You are not your book.
No.
Any criticism levelled at your book is not criticism levelled at you. And that's really, really important to remember. It's important to remember throughout your business as well. If somebody is cross with something to do with your business or a product or a service, or they've got a complaint, it is not a reflection of how they feel about you personally.
Sure.
It just feels like it.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of remember that. So
all right.
That's the 10 commandments of writing a book.
28 and a half minutes in.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
So what's going on in superheroes land is that you can pre-order my book from...
Enough already.
No, I'm really excited about it. You can pre-order it from moxiebooks.co.uk, pre-order the book, /pre-order the book.
Cool.
Links in the show notes. And I am really excited about it. I'm incredibly proud of this book. I'm hoping it's going to be with you in your hands by the end of September. It may be early October. But you can pre-order it now, and there will be goodies. There will be goodies for people who pre-order it now. I know, goodies. Goodies before the book arrives and goodies after the book arrives. In fact, the first, everybody who pre-orders it, and only the people who pre-order it, will get a signed copy.
You're never going to sign another copy.
Actually, that's probably not true. I probably will sign another copy. But it will be numbered. A numbered limited special edition and a personalised note to you.
Nice.
So when you order it, you can drop me an email and tell me why you want to write a book, why you want to read this book, and I will write you a little personalised note in the book and send it to you.
And when you're famous, it'll be
worth at least £40.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you so much as always for listening. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go and review us on iTunes.
5 stars.
Rate us 5 stars. And share it around.
Yep. Tell your friends.
Yeah. And next week, we will be... I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. It's a big surprise.
To all of us.
To all of us, yes. I should interview somebody soon. I am interviewing somebody soon. I'm very excited. It's going to be our third attempt at having an interview because the first time we had a chicken emergency, the second time we had a power cut. So I don't know what's going to happen for the third time. So yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Cool.
And we'll be back same time next week.
All right.
Bye.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.